All right. Hello, everyone. I am joined by Pat Clasby, and he's going to give just a brief introduction about himself and what he does. So take it away, Pat.
Well, hello. As Abby said, my name is Pat Clasby. I'm the Director of Youth Ministry at St. Patrick's Parish in Carlsbad, which is in the Diocese of San Diego. And I've been to NCYC, gosh, I've been attending NCYC since I think 2003. I think I missed 2019 and 2021 because I went to a new parish and we weren't ready to start taking kids yet.
Mm.
But I went in 2022. I was on the planning team for 2022 and 2024 for Long Beach, and I chaired the general session task group and co-chaired the general session task group, which was a great experience. And I believe greatly in NCYC and what it has done for the youth and young adults and adults that I've taken over the years.
Beautiful. We love that. And thank you for being a long time member of NFCYM and NCYC, and we really appreciate it. So just in general, what are some of your best tips about traveling to NCYC, whether that by bus or car or by plane even?
Well, so I've had two different experiences. When we go to, well, more recently, it's been in Indianapolis in the odd numbered years. But even before that, it was in places like Kansas City, Houston, Atlanta, Columbus, Ohio. And so we would fly, being from the West Coast. We would fly and we would try and stay downtown or near wherever the event was being held. When we were in Long Beach, Long Beach is 75 minutes, hour and a half from our front door here at the parish. So we would just drive up, and then we had carpools available to take the youth to wherever we needed to go. Long Beach, most of the housing is within very easy walking distance of the convention center. So that was really easy. Um, if you're flying from somewhere in, um, I think staying near the venue is good because it costs, you've already spent a lot of money raising, charging the youth or raising money for the youth to buy airline tickets. So you don't want to use any more transportation than necessary. So being within walking distance of the event is really good. And I believe NFCYM, NCYC is really good about if you are flying into, they try and uh, give you I'm blanking on the word. You get the advantage of staying closer to the venue
Mm.
so that you don't have to pay for buses and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Um,
definitely. What
yeah.
is like one thing that with flying and a lot of city airports aren't necessarily right downtown. How do you get people from point A, the airport, to point B, the hotel? Do you Uber? Do you charter a bus, or what has worked for you guys in the past?
I tend to charter a bus.
Okay.
I can tell you in 2017, we had chartered a bus, got us, they did great. They got us from the airport to the hotel. When it came time to leave, the bus didn't show up to bring us back from the hotel to the airport.
Oh no.
And it was in the wee dark hours of the morning. And so we all ended up Ubering. We made sure we had enough adults in each vehicle and got the kids Ubered over to the airport. And I did contact the bus company and they refunded me. So
Oh,
that was,
good.
which was good.
Yeah.
But yeah, generally we charter a bus because we've had big enough groups or a shuttle. I think you can find shuttle buses for about
Hmm.
20 people. I have tended to take a group of about 15 to 20 people,
Okay.
and more recently, I've been taking about 30 plus people.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
pretty good, especially from the West Coast and for flying. What's one thing that you've learned over the years about like airfare? Because I feel like airfare is always changing and you never really know how much airfare is going to be. It could be $300 one day, but $800 the next. So what are your tips for finding the best deals on flights?
So I finagle it. Uh, Um, so like right now, Southwest is having a sale
Hmm.
through tomorrow. And I'm very tempted to buy the tickets. I have all of our people's information already,
Yeah.
their names as they appear on their driver's license or whatever their ID that they use. And I have their date of birth, which you need to buy airline tickets. And so I've just kind of been keeping an eye on things. And I, when we signed up, I initially just did kind of a quick perusal. What are average airfares from San Diego to Indianapolis? And I was coming up with a ballpark of about $450.
Okay.
Right now, I'm seeing with this sale that they're having, I'm seeing $350. It's a
Okay.
$100 saving.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good deal. So I'm tempted to buy the tickets. The problem is we haven't fundraised all of our money yet. And
Mm,
so I'm kind of, if I buy the tickets, I'm going out on a limb figuring that we're going to get the money and be able to pay
yeah.
for those tickets. Um, so that I don't normally do the group reservations on the airlines because for whatever reason, they tend to charge more
Mm,
than what, if you were to buy the ticket individually, let's say.
okay.
So what I do is I think you can buy up to 9 tickets at a time. So I'll buy the 9 tickets at the price that they're advertised, if I found a good deal. And at some point in time, they have a cap on how many tickets you can buy at that price, and then it goes up. And so
Mm,
there have been times where I've been the person that has bought, reached the cap, and now it goes to the next incremental amount of what it
got
costs.
it.
So how I do it is I average out the price of the tickets,
Okay.
and that's what I charge all the people that are traveling.
Okay.
So, you may have gotten a ticket for 350. My ticket might be 385. So I add those together, divide by two, and that's the average price of the ticket, and we're both paying it.
Okay.
So it tends to be less expensive that way.
Yeah, definitely. Wow, that's awesome. I
And then,
love
and
that
then,
you
sorry, and I was just going
no.
to talk about luggage fees. We just have the
Oh
kids pay the
yeah.
luggage fee at the airport.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a piece. I've always driven to Indianapolis from Columbus, Ohio, so I wouldn't have even thought with the luggage um and you said that the participants just pay for that at the airport
At
if
the airport. And
do you,
then I think the challenge there is some of them, I know my last parish, felt like some of the kids were bringing like, the kitchen sink with them. And I'm like, no, one travel
one
bag,
back.
one carry-on bag, you
Yeah.
should be good. We're
Which a
only
lot
one
of
person.
airlines do now at least have a oh my gosh, what is it called? I can't even think of it. You put it in the overhead bin.
Oh, the overhead
Your
bin.
one carry-on.
Yeah.
With Southwest getting rid of their two checked bag policy, I bet has probably put
I
a
mean,
dent in a
now
lot
you,
of
now you, I mean, Southwest used to be, you got the free, you didn't have to pay to check your bags.
yeah,
So now you're gonna have to pay, I think it's $35 a bag. Um, and, but that's the same with every airline.
yeah.
So, you're better off taking one check bag.
Hmm.
And if you happen to feel like you could squeeze everything into a carry-on, great, but
Yeah,
it's unlikely. I mean, we're from Southern California. We're going to Indianapolis in November.
that's true.
Some of these kids, it might be the first time they ever see snow,
Yeah.
and so they're bringing warmer clothes, and that warmer clothing takes up more room in
Hmm.
your luggage. That's
Yeah.
just how it is.
Definitely awesome. Thanks, Pat. So you're at NCYC, you're bopping around to breakout sessions, you're going to general sessions at Lucas Oil or even the arena or even at NCYC in Long Beach. What are 5 things that you believe every group leader should carry in their bag?
Oh, yeah, I did see that question. Okay, 5 things. Advil, Tylenol, some
Mm,
kind of, yeah. Feminine supplies. Let me think, what else? For a first aid kit is good to have with
mm,
you. Your list of all contacts. So I always carry my laptop around with me because I've got
yeah.
all that in there. But you're going to want to know how to get a hold of whoever you need to get a hold of. Um, and then you know, things to write with. Pens,
Mm,
pencils, snacks. Snacks would be good. So
mm.
I just went to 6, but
It's okay.
you know, si-
Your bag is big.
yeah, snacks, bottle of water, making
Mm.
sure, not just for myself, but making sure everybody else is bringing their water. So, uh, you don't sleep a lot at NCYC, and young people aren't always good about staying hydrated.
Mm,
And
yep.
we all want to go to Starbucks and get our coffee or latte or whatever, and that's fine, but those don't necessarily hydrate you. So
Mm,
I'm a big believer in making sure everybody's got a bottle of water with them and staying hydrated.
yeah, definitely. Speaking of water hydration, Starbucks, how do you guys as someone that brings a parish group and not necessarily a diocesan delegation, what what are your like go-to tips for food for whether you're a first-time group leader or you're kind of just trying to figure out a new system? How do you guys decide where to eat, what to eat, how to eat? Yeah.
So um, for Indy and I suppose Long Beach too. So on the last night, I'll start backwards. On the last night, part of our fundraising that we do to get ready for the trip is I incorporate X amount of dollars that they fundraise that is going to cover the dinner for the last night.
Mm,
So we all go out to dinner as a group on the last night,
okay.
and I try to reserve a decent restaurant, not McDonald's.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and so I've made the reservations ahead of time. I've already made the reservations for Indianapolis for Saturday night.
Got it. Where are you going?
Uh,
Have
we
I
are going
joined?
to, what's that?
I said, am I joined?
Yeah, sure. We are going to the Weber Grill.
Okay.
So if you're familiar with the Weber Grill barbecues, I believe there are four national Weber Grill restaurants
Hmm.
across the country, and one of them
Yeah,
happens to be in downtown Indy.
that's so fun.
And so when we're in Indy, and this will be my at least my fourth time in Indy, every year we try to make sure we get Saturday night at the Weber Grill, and it's great food.
Yeah. No, that's
It,
awesome. I love that you make that a priority in your fundraising of that. Okay. Even if
yeah,
it's just the last meal, like we're gonna sit down and have a meal together. I
yeah,
really
and
love
it's just
that.
a time to celebrate.
Yeah.
We've done this pilgrimage together, right?
Hmm.
So that's that. So that's Saturday night. Now the other meals. So because Indianapolis is three time zones away, we're all out of whack by even the first day. So we fly in on Wednesday night. We have all of Thursday to hang out before things really get going Thursday night.
Mm,
I know the exhibits open after lunch on Thursday, but we tend to go off and do some sightseeing around
mm,
Indy during the daytime on Thursday. But I don't have the kids get up before about 10 a.m. because that's 7 a.m.
yeah.
San Diego time, right?
Hmm.
So I one of the tricks for us is to stay on as much as possible West Coast time.
Mm, okay.
I've found that now I don't know if that'll work this time. We'll try it out, but I found that helps their energy level stay all right.
Okay.
So 7 a.m. we're getting up. We're gonna take a bus and we're gonna go to one of the places we're going to sightsee at. But on our way there, we'll stop and we're gonna get breakfast at a restaurant that again I'll have made a reservation at. The kids have to pay for their own meals. We probably will be sitting in tables of 4 to 6 people rather than 30 of us all at one booth
Got it.
or whatever. Yeah. Um, Thursday night, we'll probably end up at a food court or Steak and Shake is just up the way from where we're staying. And we'll probably just walk in so that we get enough time to eat some food before we go over to Lucas Oil. Then we get into Friday. Well, I believe the doors open at Lucas Oil about 8 a.m. on Friday. Well, that's 5 a.m. San Diego time. And
Mm.
so, we'll get over there in time to get in the doors, but we're gonna, one eye is gonna be open and the other eye is gonna be, cranky. And so we'll have enough time to grab some coffee on our way out of the
Mhm.
hotel, and we're not gonna be hungry because it's too early in the morning.
Yeah.
But by the time we're done with that general session, we're gonna be starving. And
Mm.
so we know of a restaurant to walk up the street and just walk in there and go have breakfast.
Okay.
Again, as a group.
Yeah.
So we'll skip any breakout sessions that are going on that time. And that's one of the tricks of NCYC. It's a choose what works for your group.
Mm.
So what
Yeah.
I'm describing right now works for us on as a West Coast group coming to the
Yeah.
East, right? If you're already on East Coast time or even Central time, it's probably not that big a deal, the time
Mhm.
difference,
Yeah.
right? So you got to do what works for your group. Anyway, we'll have our brunch, if you will, after the first general session. Then we'll start going to breakouts.
Okay.
And kids will probably snack either at whatever stands there are in the convention center or the food trucks that are outside. They might snack on that stuff, and then we'll get together and have dinner together somewhere. Again, probably a food court, maybe the food trucks. It's a little more casual. But it is important to make sure that everybody gets fed.
Mhm.
And that's a big deal. Again, with the lack of sleep, food, water. Um, and I'd say we pretty much repeat that process. So that's Thursday, that's Friday. We repeat that process on Friday as far as how we do breakfast. And then, of course, I already told you about the reservation for dinner on Saturday night. So lunch is kind of a, are you hungry or not? Because you're kind of getting a
Yeah.
big breakfast and you're getting it late in the day as far as Eastern times goes. And then you're having this dinner at 5 o'clock, which again, it's like 2 o'clock our time. So everything's all messed up.
Yeah, no. And I really love how you were talking about like NCYC is a choose your own adventure.
Yeah,
It's whatever works for your group, and a lot, and you're not the first group leader that I've met with to say that of, you don't have to do everything on the first
you
day or
can't.
even the second day. There's no way
Yeah,
that you will have enough energy to, go to every single breakout session and see every single exhibit in the interactive exhibit hall and, still have enough energy to make it through general session.
that's right. That's right.
Yeah,
And I would say the other thing that we do is if we're hungry when we get back to the hotel, then we will order pizzas.
yeah.
Yeah, so that's another thing that we would do. Now, some groups are able to bring in their own food, and I would say those are like this is what we do in Long Beach. We do bring a cooler up,
Okay.
several coolers,
Yeah.
and we make our lunches before we go over to the arena. So we're carrying our
Mm,
lunches.
yeah.
Now that's one day. The other day we do go out to lunch. The kids like, okay, we'll make it one day, but I think we got spoiled kids there. They don't want to have sack lunch both days. So I don't know.
No, yeah, that's really awesome that you even like take the time to. And a lot of our groups have done that, of bringing coolers and bringing food. And this year, soon we'll have a pre-order form for boxed lunches from St.
Yeah,
John's, so we'll have that. So there's a lot
we've
of
done
food
that before
options,
too.
and yeah, and I'm we're gonna be putting out a blog here soon, just of walking spots in the area of where to get food, where you can book a reservation, and just to help out our group leaders of um, just so you guys can focus on being youth ministers and being group leaders and being with the teens and not figuring out, okay, how do I get from point A to point B?
Yeah.
Get there safely with all your kids.
I would
Um,
say the great thing about Indy is there are a lot of places to eat
mhm.
downtown, in that downtown within walking area, within walking distance of the convention center and of Lucas Oil. Some of them are more pricey. The Weber Grill is not inexpensive.
Yeah,
St. Elmo's is not inexpensive. But I save those places for kind of like I said, the last night, something
yeah,
unique and special. But you do have Steak and Shake, and
mhm.
it's not good food, but it'll fill you up.
Yeah,
And it's inexpensive, and the
yeah.
kids don't care. The adults
Mhm.
do, but the kids don't.
Yeah, I met with Kevin Fine a couple weeks ago, and he said there's either cheap, quick, or good. Like it's either good for your body and tastes really awesome and is healthy, or it's cheap and it's probably not very good and it's just there, or it's quick and it's just probably at the convention center, but it's expensive.
Yeah.
So you have to choose between those three things.
Yep. And so
Kind of,
making sure your youth are prepared financially for that is really
yeah.
key because
Yeah. What do you
I
tell
don't
your
have,
kids like budget wise? Do you tell them, $20 a meal, $10 a meal,
yeah, I'd
or
say about 20 bucks a meal minimum
okay, yeah,
because just everything costs a lot these days.
yeah.
And so budget 20 bucks a meal.
Mm,
And if you're going through the airport and flying, we know that that's not a cheap spot to eat either.
yeah.
Yeah. It just is what it is.
Yeah. So we're at NCYC and we're fed, we're feeling good. How do you keep track of everyone in your group? Do you just stay in contact with chaperones, or do you guys, since you're a smaller group compared to, let's say, the Archdiocese of Dubuque with 800 participants, how do you keep in contact with everyone?
So we're always together when we go to the general sessions.
Okay.
When it comes time for the breakouts, there's so many to choose from, and what we try to do is, what are you interested in? Okay, with
Mhm.
this group of people, you're going to that workshop, and we have a couple of adults that go with them to that workshop. This group of people, they want to go to this workshop, a couple of adults go with that group. So
Got it.
they're always in a grouping where there's some adults around.
Okay.
And today, with all the different apps you have on your cell phone, it's really easy to stay in communication.
Mhm.
And I've already made a group chat for our group for NCYC because we're already talking about, fundraising and a
Yeah.
mini retreat and things like that to get ready for our trip. And so as other people join, I'm only expecting a few more people to join, but as they
Yeah.
join, we add them into the chat.
Yeah.
But we have everybody's number on there so that nobody can say, "Oh, I didn't know." Nope, it's
Mm.
right there in the chat.
Yeah. So you kind of touched on my next question. How do you prepare your teens for an experience like NCYC?
So we've already had one prep meeting in May. We have two fundraisers coming up, one on the 26th of July and one on the second week of August. And so those will be great times to chat. Not everybody will participate in those fundraisers.
Okay.
Many will, but not all. But it's a great time to start, forming or those relationships or continuing to build on the existing ones,
Mm.
and making the new people who haven't been before, making them feel comfortable. So we spend time doing that. We will have probably one other gathering that's not fundraising oriented. That's just let's spend some time talking about what we're about ready to go experience, and we'll take a look at the theme and listen to everybody's hopes and expectations, and what are their excitements, what are their worries and concerns, and just prep for all that and spend some time in prayer on that.
Yeah.
We also get everybody to attend a mass shortly before we go on the trip, and our pastor brings them up at the sometime during mass and blesses all the group.
Mm.
And that's a great visual for the parish as a whole to
Yeah.
see, when they see 30 plus youth and adults getting ready to go on this big adventure, they're impressed.
Yeah. Definitely.
And it makes your adults in the parish want to support youth ministry even more, even if,
Yeah.
even if they don't have kids in the program, they're like, hey, adults love seeing young people active in the faith.
Mm.
So that's a great visual to have.
Yeah.
So
That's
that's I
awesome.
guess those are the main things that we do. And then
Yeah.
while we're at NCYC, certainly myself and the other adults on the team, we're checking in with the teens. But every night when we get back to the hotel, we squeeze into my room. No
Mm.
matter how big or small my room is, we squeeze 30 people in there and we take some time to debrief
That's
as a group
awesome. Yeah.
and spend some time in prayer and don't try and keep it too long, but I'd say half
Yeah.
an hour to an hour and then we're out of
Okay.
there.
Yeah. That's awesome that you guys make that a priority even before you get on the plane to NCYC, that you're forming those relationships so kids aren't showing up in the parking lot like, oh, I don't really know you.
Yep.
That's awesome. Just one last question. If you could just speak about a personal experience of NCYC, whether how it affected your parish kids or how it affected you personally. How has NCYC impacted just your life or kids' lives around you?
There's a lot of stories to choose from on that one. I mean, I think the fact that I'm still taking youth to NCYC, and my first one was in, I think, 2003.
Mm,
Uh, Whenever the NCYC was in Houston, that was my first one.
mm,
And I think that speaks to anyone about how I value the experience of NCYC.
mm.
The experience the young people have is second to none because they bring back that energy and joy and what they've learned, and they're way better at sharing it with their fellow youth in our program than I could ever be by myself.
Mm.
And that's why we're going to Indy this coming November. We just went to Long Beach this past November, and on the last night after it was all over, we gathered for our nightly debrief, and we started talking about, well, do you want to go to Indy in November? It's twice as much money. It's another
Yeah.
day of travel, blah, blah, blah. And I mean, I remember one girl, her name's Jocelyn. She's like, "We're going," and everybody was like, "Yep, we're going." And it
Uh,
wasn't even a question. It's like we're
yeah.
and that's exciting. And I'll say one more reason why that's exciting is I've been trying to get this group to go to Indy since I got here in the fall of 2018.
Okay.
And finally, we have enough energy and credibility built up that they're like, yes, now we want to go to that.
Oh,
And
that's
that's
awesome.
exciting.
Yeah.
I think, working on the team for Long Beach in 22 and 24, um, an incredible experience getting to know some of the MCs, the
Hmm.
featured speakers, and getting to work with them on their presentations. And to see all that come together and to see behind the scenes and how much work goes into that,
Yeah.
very moving. The moments of prayer, spirituality. I've had some of that's all, folks. Some of my most wonderful experiences of adoration have occurred at NCYC. One
Mm,
at Lucas Oil Stadium. They had that moment of silence, and I think it went on for about 5 minutes in Indy.
mm,
And you're in that stadium, and at that time, this is prior to COVID, there was about 20,000 people, 25,000 people there.
yeah.
Huge. And you could have heard a pin drop. The only thing you could hear was about 10 stories up at the top of the building where the fans were in, just
Yeah.
going round and round. And it was a really powerful and haunting moment. And I remember that night going back through social media and seeing all the comments that people made about that. And so many people had the same experience that I did, that it was
Mm,
just such a wonderful, beautiful, powerful moment of spirituality.
yeah.
So just great things, great
Yeah.
music, a lot of love, a lot of fun, a lot of laughter. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. And then, sorry, I'm going to spring one last question on you. So
Right.
you talked about bringing a group from West Coast to East Coast. What would you say to our East Coast friends that maybe have never been to NCYC in Long Beach?
So I will tell you that they are two different experiences,
Mm,
and I recommend them both.
mm,
We're still trying to build up Long Beach. This past November, it was about 3,000 people. I believe in 22, it was about, I'm going to say 2,800 people. So much, much smaller than
mhm.
Indianapolis. Um, Indianapolis now is getting between 10 and 15,000 people, I believe.
Yep.
Back in, pre-COVID, we were getting 20, 25,000 people. So I know that Indy is on its way back, but it's still not there yet either. Um, when you get the big numbers, there's a different energy and a different
Mm,
vibe that comes in. Um, I would say that you see in Long Beach, it's more intimate, but you also see the much more you see the fuller experience of the diversity of our church.
mm,
And I think that's super powerful, and
yeah.
I would love to see more and more people take advantage of that and see what our church looks like. Conversely, I like taking the youth that I work with. This will be my second parish that I've taken to Indy now. I used to work at a different parish.
Okay.
That parish was predominantly Filipino.
Okay.
And they would arrive in Indianapolis, and it was a little bit of a shock to the system because they
Mm,
lived in a very Filipino type neighborhood.
yeah.
And Indianapolis is not that.
Hmm.
And so, you go out to Long Beach and you see all kinds of ethnicities there,
Mm,
Filipino, Hispanic, Korean, Chinese, Hmong, and Anglo. I mean, it's just really amazing to see that.
yeah.
Um, and in both ways, I think it's eye openers.
Yeah.
And that's why I believe in both of them greatly.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, thanks so much, Pat, for joining me today and for helping out group leaders of the future and present, just to make their NCYC experience the best that it can be.